Hey guys, welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. My name is Salvador Briggman, and today we're talking about how to get funding for your game, whether that game is on an app, could be a website, could be a card game or a board game. How can you get funding for your game? We're covering that all today. There are a lot of ways to get funding for a game, and I kind of like to think of this more honestly as a business, because while you might be the game developer or the creator, you're actually trying to start a business behind this game. So there are a lot of ways to do this. I'd say when it first gets started, a lot of game developers will actually draw from their own savings. So they'll maybe have their 401k, or they have the amount of money that they save, and rather than doing vacations, they decide to plow this into the development of the game in order to get that initial prototype made that they can show other people. They can actually get an investor excited about the functionality or get excited about the story behind the game. It could be towards the artwork, etc. Creating that initial prototype of a game is so freaking important for just even getting anyone to buy into what it is that you're trying to do. So the first source of funds is usually that initial actual funding, self-funding. You can also go out there and you can get initial investment from friends and family. These could be like sort of micro angels if you want to think about it. So you can offer your friend or family equity in the business in exchange for helping you out and being that initial sort of buyer or investor or backer in the game. You can also have a lot of other entrepreneurs out there using things like credit cards to finance it, or even trying to get a loan, a bank loan, and using their collateral like their house or something. There are a lot of ways you can leverage in order to get funding, but one of the sort of gaps in the marketplaces that I've seen when it comes to is sort of these smaller ways to get funding, and then talking about angel investors, maybe putting like writing a 50K check or 100K check, and then venture capitalists who are putting much more money into the game once you have a proven process. So the middle ground I see as being crowdfunding, and crowdfunding as an incredible way to not only get funding for the development of the game, but also to get it out there into game enthusiasts, into their hands. So many of my students have raised money for card games, for tabletops, for board games, and even for physical games and apps and these types of things. And crowdfunding is actually a real way that you can do this. You can present this to a whole crowd of people, and you can get that initial validation, you can get the funding. You can also have those initial play testers, if you will, that will want the beta access to the game and to give you feedback as well. In order to be able to bring this game to the crowd, 100% you need some kind of workable and playable prototype. If you can get anyone to play this, either play test the card game or to play the board game or to show this to any influencers, this is a killer way to show people, number one, you have the ability to execute on this plan or this mission. So many people have different ideas for games, but they can't actually pull this off. So you have to show you have a working prototype of some sort. Number two, you have to have a compelling story to wrap this all around. It can't just be something that's like another action game. What is the story behind this? What is the artwork? What is the care that you're using to craft this experience for the actual person? That's what's going to get an avid gamer on your side and actually excited to not only want a copy of this, but to want to support the continued development and creation of that game. I want to take a second to introduce you to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Fulfillment. Fulfillment is a turnkey solution for helping you get the products out there to your customers and to your backers. Whether you're doing a Kickstarter campaign or an Indiegogo campaign, eventually you're going to have to do order fulfillment and get those rewards out there into the hands of your backers. So what these guys do is they basically offer a streamlined service for you, and they take all that headache away. I highly recommend outsourcing this element of your campaign because it's going to make everything easier in the future. If you want to learn more about Fulfillment, I'm going to include a link down below in the description of this YouTube video. But in addition, you can also check it out on the web at fulfillrite.com, and you can learn more there. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to the video. The secret sauce, if you will, that I find that sort of ties this all together is to making a killer and effective pitch video for your crowdfunding project. So this could be on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. The best thing that you can do as a game developer is to go out there and to start to research and to look at some of the other campaigns that are out there on Kickstarter and on Indiegogo and see what their page looks like, look at what their video looks like, look at how much money they raise, how many backers. Use a tool like KickTrack, and you can write that down in order to find out the statistics behind the actual campaign. This is probably the first good thing you can do when it comes to setting up a good crowdfunding campaign. The second and most important, I would say, powerful strategy that goes behind raising money with crowdfunding is building up a pre-launch launch following. So a lot of people think that you're going to go to the crowd and you're just going to be able to like cash in on the crowd and raise a bunch of money on Kickstarter. Not true. You sort of need to seed the pump. You need to prime the pump before you actually get the attention of these backers that are on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. So what you do is you construct a pre-launch, and that pre-launch is meant to build up your social media following. That pre-launch is meant to build up a bit of an email list, to actually get the assets together to build a website. If you conduct a good pre-launch, you have a killer video, you have a story that's interesting, you have the artwork to correspond to that, you actually have a pretty decent chance of raising money using crowdfunding. After a successful crowdfunding campaign, there's a lot you can do with that. Number one, you actually have a little bit of the seed funding there, but you can also approach angel investors. You can show them the validation. You can go and press venture capitalists if you have the demand there. Once you showcase that people are willing to buy this thing, that people are interested in this, and they want to actually buy into the story, you can do a ton with that when you have a crowd behind you. What I want to share with you is a free introductory course that goes through the different tenets of crowdfunding. So I spent my last 6 years learning about this. I want to share this with you for free, basically, and go through how do you actually construct a good marketing strategy related to the project, how do you put together a good video, what are sort of the tried and true basics that are almost virtually guaranteed to get you funding, and sort of the principles behind this. I want to share this with you. So down below, I'm going to link to a free introductory course that will walk you through step by step how to launch an effective crowdfunding campaign, get you up to speed quickly, and that's a great course for those that are interested in raising money. In addition, I have some other links down below if you want to book a one-on-one coaching call with me to discuss your project individually and sort of tailor this strategy to you. You can also do that with a coaching call. I also got some other great links that I will include in the description down below. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and come subscribe for more videos like this. I put them out weekly. Go and dive into my channel. Look at some of the other videos I got out there on the marketing of the project, and also when it comes to your game, really narrowing it down and starting to focus and treat this as a real project that eventually you are going to present to the world.